Big ups to Dan Potts and Football's 12th Man podcast clip here looking at, obviously hosted by Dan Potts, the Arsenal fan, alongside Lawless, the West Ham fan, and the return of Deji Spurs, the Tottenham Hotspur fan. And last video on Deji was a bit wild, didn't really expect that. So thank you to all those who watched and whatnot. Boy, he's back with another one. And look, I'll be fair to him. In some instances, I can understand and probably agree to a standpoint, to a particular part of where he's coming from with his argument. But overall, I just disagree with it altogether, man, because football is basically a game where you win things. Yes, there's playing at the highest level, there's the emotions, there's the highs and lows and the celebrations and the heartbreak of losing and all those sorts of things there. But ultimately, it's to have your team win silverware. Nobody says, well, X team played at the highest level, let's give them a round of applause. They got nothing against their name. There's nothing that they won. We would not be applauding Man City and congratulating them rightfully for the team that they are. 115 charges pending, of course, if they didn't win the silverware, if they didn't win the trophies that they won. So that's what I have to say there. And look, it's not a dig at anybody. This is all football-based opinion, so nothing personal. But based on the football opinion, this is actually quite mad. So let's kick it over to the bit here. I'll link this down below, and the channel, of course. Big ups to Dan Potts doing his bits there. But let's kick it off here with basically Lawless saying that he'd rather win something than be in the Champions League, and that's what kicked off this discussion between Deji, Dan, and Lawless.
Have a season where we get there. I would rather win trophies than play in the Champions League all day long. You don't get a parade for being in the Champions League. So
you just want to keep winning 10. So you would prefer to win 10 Carabao Cups from now for the next 10 years. You prefer that than tasting the Champions League?
Yeah, 100%. Because look, okay, Newcastle, yeah, Pete had some good away days, but what happened? They crashed out in the group stage. Yeah, same thing Villa will do if they get there. They'll crash out, have some good away days, crash out in the group stage. For what? Give me 10 trophies, bro. Give me 10 trophies.
Yeah, I'm with Lawless, man. I'm taking 10 trophies over.
I just want to ask you. So,
bro, that whole notion of just play. Yes, being in the Champions League is probably the ultimate for European football. Every European football club, if they can't, win silverware, they can't do anything. They want to be in the Champions League, right? I get it. Everyone wants to be in the Champions League. Not every club, not every team will make it there. So unfortunately, that's just what they're destined to be. Some, if they're fortunate enough to be winning trophies along the way, hint, hint, winning trophies along the way, they will reach that level. If you're consistently winning something, players will probably be more inclined to join your club because they know you have a track record of competing at the highest level, which we'll get to shortly, but not just competing, going the extra mile and winning something, getting a winner's medal, having the club's name etched on that trophy with the date of the year that they've won it. That's the ultimate game here, right? So yes, if it means we're going to win 10 trophies every season or win 10 trophies across the span of 10 years in any which way, you'd probably take that. Even as a Liverpool fan, I'll probably take that. Carabao, FA Cup, whatever it is, Premier League, obviously the Premier League, but you know what, Carabao, FA Cup. And Deji is going to make a point. What if you win 10 Carabao Cups, does that make you any better? Well, it's like, well, I've won silverware. It ain't the best silverware, but it's still silverware. And I've said it myself, and I'll maintain it again. Winning something, silverware, whether it's a Carabao, FA Cup, whatever it is, a piece of silverware, is good. It's a better season to have won something than to have not won anything and just competed and finished in the top 4. Obviously, after the top 4, then you compete against other clubs, and that's when you compete on the European global stage, at the highest level of football and all that sort of shit, right? And then you can potentially win the Champions League, or if you drop out to the Europa League. But that's another trophy as well that you could participate in. That's a European trophy. So yeah, give me them trophies over playing in the Champions League and not getting anywhere any day of the year.
So let's say this. West Ham wants to win 10. I'm going to ask this to Dan. Do you show West Ham more respect because they've gone on to win 5 to 10 Carabao Cups? Not FA, it's Carabao. Or would you have more respect for them if they got to the Champions League and maybe even got out of the group stage? Which one would command more respect?
What's the aim of the game, Deji? Is it to compete or is it to win?
It's to play at the highest level.
Right.
Premier League
I don't think that is the aim of the game.
Is the Carabao Cup the highest level?
Nope.
No, it's not.
That's not the question.
It's not the highest level, but it's silverware. We won a Carabao Cup. It's silverware. It doesn't matter what happens. We finish first, second, third in this Premier League campaign. we knock out of the Europa League, stages. We've still got, quarterfinal, semi-final, whatever the hell it is left to play. I don't even know what the hell we're in. Quarterfinals, as it were. I mean, it's a piece of silverware. Granted, if you're competing in things and you don't win, okay, then we're going to have a question as to say, okay, what the hell went wrong there? But the fact still stands. We want a piece of silverware. The fact will still remain that this team won silverware, that team won silverware, regardless of what happens, for the rest of their season. It always will say their team won X trophy for X season year.
The question is
So
the game
you would rather win the lowest of the lows.
But wait a minute, what makes the level of the Carabao Cup
yeah.
any different from the FA Cup? If we're talking about level, playing at a level, it's the same. It's the same competition. It's the same thing.
if I'm West Ham and you said to me,
Same
right,
thing.
you can give me playing football in the Champions League for 10 years, never going to win it, but you're competing in it. And you're playing Maccabi Haifa in the group stage.
Okay.
Or I can give you 10 years of trophies. You're going to go trophies, Deji.
Let me change the question then. Which ones are
That's
likely?
fair.
Which one is likely to attract more players and expand West Ham's global?
Champions League football will always attract more players. 100%.
100%.
Yes, but what are
100%.
we attracting players for? To win trophies. So if we can win trophies without attracting these Champions League players, I would rather do that because
Can I just give you rankings? Because I feel like I look at the trophy.
They're just going to give us rankings on the trophies and where they stand and all that sort of shit. We get that. The Carabao Cup is the lowest of the lowest. It's still a trophy. I don't care. Whoever wins it, you're still winning silverware. Then you've also got I think, Conference, Europa, FA, Champions League, Premier League, or Premier League, Champions League, whatever it is. Yes, there are rankings when it comes to these things, but it's still silverware. And the whole irony of this is a Spurs fan. Now, Deji is one. He's not speaking for every Spurs fan out there. I'm really looking at his opinions on this one particular thing here. But he's on the stance that it doesn't matter. It does matter what you win. But for a team that hasn't won anything since 2008, to say, I don't want this nothing trophy, I want the big trophy. Bruv, win anything you possibly can. You'd have to if you're a football team. You're all about winning trophies and silverware. That's the mad part about it. Anyways, let's kick it on here. Some more discussions. Let's go.
Can I be real? And I don't want people to tell me it's because it's Liverpool. Forget that. Put that aside. Liverpool did the double. They did the double of the FA Cup and Carabao Cup. You don't hear them talking about it, mate. They don't even mention it. You know why?
Why would we mention it? It's been done and dusted already. We won 2 trophies that year. Not the most prestigious, not the biggest trophy out there, but still won 2 trophies. Again, Spurs fan trying to clown on Liverpool for winning trophies because they're not the Premier League or the Champions League or the Europa or whatever hell he considers to be in the higher ranking of trophies. It's still more than what Tottenham have won. And the whole irony of this again is we have a club, a fan of a team that has not won anything for the better part or almost 2 decades, saying that nobody gives a shit about what Liverpool won because they're not relevant trophies.
Because those 2 were worthless. If they'd won the Champions League and the Prem, that's the double.
No, but that's not.
That's
It's
double.
not a double.
So, but that is a double though. That is a double. Carabao Cup and FA Cup is a double.
It's a double trophy. It's not a double like this whole baby treble and baby quad and all this sort of shit. You want to group in trophies and say this is the quadruple: the Premier League, the FA Cup, the Champions League, and I don't know, fucking Carabao Cup or whatever. Fair enough. And they don't consider the Europa League to be one of the main trophies. Fair enough. It's still 4 trophies, man. If you want to put that spin on it, by all means.
But you just said it ain't a double. I wonder why that is.
It's true. No one cares about the money. No one cares.
I love this.
Who said that? Who said that?
That's true.
Irons said, Potts, if Arsenal win the league, are you thinking about how much money you make?
No.
Yeah, but that's the league, though. That's the league.
Any trophy.
If it's FA Cup final, Dan would rather be in the Champions League over the FA Cup all day long.
No way. Never.
Dan is here.
FA Cup final to actually be within 90 minutes of winning silverware or just to compete in the Champions League. I don't know, man.
Ask him.
Oh,
He'd rather
that.
be in the
Oh, that.
Champions League
Sorry.
Then win the FA Cup. Be honest, Dan.
West Ham are going to take a trophy, I guess, Lawless. Am I right? You take the FA Cup over coming 4th, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, but Tottenham wouldn't do that because
No,
they
but
win
Arsenal,
every
Dan,
year.
you answer for your club. Answer for your club.
Oh, you're coming to me
Champions
with that
League.
question.
Yeah,
Oh, I would
Champions
take I would usually always take trophy, but for where I am, I can't go back out of the Champions League for where Arsenal's stature are right now. So I'm gonna have to pick Champions League.
You hear that, Lawless? You hear
No,
that?
but you know,
There's context behind it, Deji. There's context behind it. Arsenal have been winning the FA Cup. What, the last out of the last 8 finals, they've won 4 of them, right? They've been winning the FA Cup. They've played and got themselves to a level where they can compete now. They've been winning the FA Cup. They, Charity Shield, okay, not a real trophy, whatever the hell. Competing in Europa League finals, challenging teams to a Premier League title. Obviously, we know what happened last year and all that sort of shit. But they've built themselves and performed to a level where they can make it there. Granted, where they are right now, in terms of rankings of trophies, yes, winning another FA Cup is probably not going to be seen as what they should be aiming for. But for me, it's still a trophy nonetheless. You winning, the whole aim is to win things. I think it should not matter the level of trophy. Granted, if you haven't seen something in a long while, you're probably thinking, well, scrap this, let's focus on that. I think that's the wrong mentality. I mean, shit, if Man City can go on and win Carabao Cup after Carabao Cup, and Liverpool can win Carabao Cup, and then United can win Carabao Cup, what does that say about the trophy? If all the highest top teams win it, why does it not matter? If the lower league teams won it, you'd probably say it matters more because they're not used to winning anything. I think that's just a cop-out. I think that's just cope, because anyone who wins trophies should be celebrating the trophy in their own way, that is.
I don't
Right,
give
you
a
know
damn
why-
about-
you know why
I don't
I
give a
don't
damn about
think
Dan's
they
reasoning.
turn them down.
I don't care about his reasoning.
no,
You
but
hear it.
no, because they was out
There is
of it
reasoning
for
behind
so
it.
long. They've only
Correct.
just got back in. If they were
Correct.
this team, that were in the Champions League, not in the Champions League, in the Champions League, not in the Champions League, they'd be like, yeah, this season, you know what? Yeah, I'll take FA, and they proceeded to not win anything. They'd be like, yeah, give us an FA Cup. Like if you took Arsenal all them years, when they were finishing 4th under Wenger, and winning nothing, before he won that FA Cup against Hull, was it? Was it Hull? It was Hull, wasn't it? Yeah.
That's a good point. They were criticised for just finishing 4th, always being in the Champions League and never competing. What's the point of being here? You're in with a shout of winning a trophy? Yes, give me that trophy. It's a Carabao Cup. I don't care. It's a FA Cup. I don't care. Give me that trophy. You ain't won anything. Deji's talking like a man who's got all these riches here, that being Tottenham Hotspur, as being the fan rep on this particular stream, at least on this show, talking like they're used to winning things and they've had enough of winning the Carabao Cup. They've had enough winning the FA Cup. Now they want to win real silverware. They want to win Premier League. They want to win Champions League. It's like, bro, you're trying to sprint when you ain't even crawled yet.
Before that FA Cup against Hull, Arsenal fans would have said, I would take being out of the Champions League to win an FA Cup. Surely, Potts.
Yeah, but we had 9 years without a trophy, so that's different. Now that we've
There
won
you go.
14 FA Cups and we've won 4 in the last 8 years,
There you
I would
go.
rather go for the Champions League. Why? Because I feel like we've won it. Back then, champion in the Champions League, we were never going to win it, man. We were in like West Ham's position. Let's be real.
If you was in Spurs' position, Potts, right, where you'd been
take a trophy all day long. Don't have to hear the
Yeah.
question. I take a trophy all day long if I'm
100%.
Tottenham. 100% I would, because Tottenham get bantered about not winning trophies.
whatever
Like,
trophy
he doesn't.
It's true. The trophies, that's everyone laughs at Spurs because they ain't won anything. Spurs have not won anything. Why the hell should we listen to Spurs? Spurs are a banter club. They ain't win anything. Win a Carabao Cup. Win a FA Cup. Winning will give you that momentum to want to win more things. Then you start competing for your Premier Leagues. Then you make it to the Champions League. Then you start competing for the Champions League. I mean, shit, they made a final. We're going to hear it shortly now. Apparently, they were robbed because of a penalty. That never was a handball. That never was. I don't know what game Deji ended up watching, but definitely was a penalty. I mean, big ups to Mane for that cross into the box onto, was it Sissoko's bicep area? So, hey man, it was deemed a penalty. It is what it is. Anyways, let's hear the rest of this and then that'll be that for this one here. Let's kick it off.
Football is what we played, and we fell off. Now we're trying to get ourselves back. So for me, it's better to have been in the Champions League and still aiming up than to lower up. Look, Man United won the Carabao Cup, and I have the audacity to tell you today they can't chat to me. They can't, and they know it because they're fully dusty. So what is the point?
Spurs fan saying Man United cannot talk to him because they're dusty like Tutankhamun's coffin, everything else in between, because it's only a Carabao Cup. But again, Spurs have not won anything since 2008, which was the League Cup. But Deji wants to come here and say Man United are absolute rubbish, so they can't talk to him. Right.
Of it then. If Spurs were to win the Carabao Cup and not get into Champions League football, what would be the point? Rubbish.
You won a trophy. That would be the fucking point, wouldn't it?
Rubbish! If you're thinking that's football. Footballers are supposed to play at the highest level. That's what it's about. That's
To
what
win
we're there
things.
for. Not
To
playing
win.
with Dynamo Zagreb. I want to be in bloody Madrid. No disrespect to Zagreb, but that's the truth.
Hey, mate, careful. Them Hrvati will come at you, man. Was it Zagreb that's got the bad blue boys? I don't know.
You want to play with the big boys. You want to see Barcelona in bloody London Stadium. You want to see Mbappe running down that bloody pitch and then getting a donut outside Stratford Station. That's what we all want to see. That's what you want. Or do you want to just be kicking ball with Stevenage? Come on, man.
Listen, if we win trophies,
The man has standards. He wants his team to be up there. I get it. But again, like Dan alluded to earlier, Arsenal had not won anything for 9 years. So when you haven't won anything for 9 years, you say, man, we want a trophy. We'll take any trophy we can get right now just to get that monkey off our back. So we say, hey, we won this. Now our aim is this. And then once we won, now our aim is that, which is why they've won the FA Cup, competing for the Premier League. They're in the Champions League with a good chance of making it through to the semi-finals. After that, we'll see what happens. But there's no denying that trophies do change the outlook of your football club, man. I don't know who Deji's trying to kid here.
every year, I take it. I would take it all day long. Yeah, stack the trophies, because in 50 years' time, no one's going to talk about when West Ham lost to Barcelona in the group stages of the Champions League, or when Spurs. Like what your legacy is. Your legacy as a club is built on trophies.
Lawless on the money here. What are we talking about right now when it comes to the clubs in England? Man City are the best team right now. Oh, but they still haven't won the same amount of trophies as United. Oh, but United, still have more trophies than Liverpool, or Liverpool have more trophies than United. It goes back to the trophies won. Who's the biggest club? Based on what? Based on revenue? Based on exposure? Based on commercialization? Or is it based on trophies won? What's the legacy of the club? No one says, how many times have you been in the Champions League and done fuck all in there? Nobody judges you on that. So it's wild for Deji to be saying, you know what, I want to be in the Champions League, attracting all these players. Don't worry about anything else, just focus on that one thing. But you're losing out on everything else in between. I mean, look at this right here. Nottingham Forest won 2 Champions Leagues. Aston Villa, they won, I'm pretty sure it's 2 Champions Leagues as well. And that's pretty much all that they are very well known for in terms of big trophies that they won. I could be wrong. If I got that wrong, my apologies. No offense to any Nottingham Forest fans, being brother-in-law for some whatever reason, and also Aston Villa fans. But that's their legacy. They won 2 Champions Leagues. And before Man City got theirs, before Chelsea got theirs, and then their second, it was always like, well, Aston Villa are bigger than you. Nottingham Forest are bigger than you. They won the Champions League, at least in Europe. Oh, but we're bigger in the Premier League. Well, then you start nitpicking. Okay, well, we're bigger in this and you're smaller in that, but we're bigger in that and you're smaller in this. Again, it all goes down to trophies won. So Lawless is on the money for me here. The level of trophy you can argue about, but I will maintain the fact, I'll die on the hill, it is still a trophy that your team wins that has its name written on that damn piece of silverware at the end of the final once you've won it in the year you've won it in.
Legacy is not playing in the Champions League. Oh yeah, like 30 years ago when Spurs played in the Champions League.
Can I ask you a question, Lawless? Would you respect Spurs more if we were to win 10 Carabao Cups in a row? No FAs, no Europa Leagues, no Europa Conference Leagues. We just win Carabaos. Would you respect us more?
I would respect you slightly more, because at the end of the day,
I could be slight if we won 10 of them.
No, I would respect you slightly more. Like obviously the banter would be different, right?
True.
Because I can't banter you about trophies, right? I can't. That's gone. I have to respect you as a team that wins trophies. But then you would be called Carabao FC because that's all you win. You know what I mean?
That's a fair assessment.
And let's not forget, by the way, because Irons has got a good point. You had the most pathetic showing ever in the Champions League final. You were dusty, the most dustiest team to ever.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Ever play in the Champions League.
So the handball isn't a robbery, no?
Oh, no way.
So, Dan, I'll ask you the same question. If Tottenham win 10 Carabao Cups in a row,
Can I just say, that was in like the first 2 minutes of the match. You still had 88 minutes to do something and you did nothing. It took a Joel Matip assist to Divock Origi clutch off the bench to secure number 6 big ears for us. Thank you, Joel Matip. The one contribution that actually does matter. Jacob?
would you respect my club more?
Yeah, because you
would,
that
yes.
actually wins things.
Correct.
Really?
It's just the fact.
It's yes. The banter will be, well, you only win Carabao Cups, but they're still winning shit. So the banter would be, but you only win Carabao Cups. But the reality is, once the banter's all out of the way, shit, man, you actually do win trophies. It's only one set of trophy. It's only one trophy. But now you need to be aiming higher. That's when you can say, okay, we've done this. Now we need to be aiming further up. But again, they're trying to sprint before they even fucking crawl, man. That's the problem here. That's what I see as the issue. I just don't see this chest of like, we're better than this, we need to be competing at the top. But what happens when you get there? You're like United. They want to be competing in the top 4, but they're not ready for it. They're just going to get slaughtered, as we've seen in this Champions League already, with Ten Hag and the squad they have and all that sort of shit. It's wild.
Okay.
Why would I respect a team that goes into a Champions League?
Frankie says he wouldn't respect Spurs more. I think Frankie gets the
Yeah,
point.
but I feel like
You know
if Frankie's an Arsenal fan, you could win the Champions League, and he still, a lot of Arsenal fans wouldn't respect.
Correct. They want to give a
But
shit.
at the end
No,
of the
but
day,
I
you
think
keep-
if Spurs win the Champions League, Arsenal fans respect Spurs. You do.
I think a lot of fans would.
If Spurs win the Champions League, Arsenal fans respect Spurs. Well, I can't speak. I'm not an Arsenal fan. I'd give them a bit of a fucking, if you have to respect them. Shit, they won the Champions League. Fair plays to you. Like Chelsea, like Man City. Okay, maybe not the most glamorous finals. Maybe they shouldn't have won. The other team should have won. But at the end of the day, they won the Champions League. Same with us in Istanbul in 2005. Realistically, we should not have won. We should have been fucking smashed to bits, but we won. And that's the respect comes in. If Spurs win a Champions League, you best believe people would be respecting him. You won a Champions League. Fan fucking tastic. Congratulations. That is a fucking achievement, man. And that's not sarcasm, by the way. That's legit.
Would say no one respects Spurs. There it is. No one, no mate, because you're Spurs and your fan base. Like it just. But you always say it's better to have loved and lost than to never love at all. Like Spurs have never loved. Like all you do is you go on dates and you never go all the way.
Bro,
That's what it is.
Wow. Wow. That's the is it Sampaoli quote? You know, like possession. Possession means nothing. You're chatting up a chick all night, taking 2-3 hours talking to her, not getting anywhere. One bloke comes in, chats her up quickly. 1 minute later, bang, he's out of there. He's got a number. He's hooked up with her. Possession means nothing. Take your opportunity as it comes.
To love was to get to the Champions League final. To never love the
If
all.
that's
is
love,
to
then what's winning
do what
it?
you guys are doing.
What's winning it? If love is to just get there and play
You've
in a game,
never danced. You've never danced with somebody. You want to just feel the heat with somebody. You remember that song?
Oh,
You
that's
can't
Whitney.
even say you've done that, man.
I mean, to be fair, Tottenham did make a final. Yes, we did beat them, but I mean, they just got lawless here. It's like you want to dance with somebody, you've never danced though, but you've just wanted to feel the heat, or you want to feel the heat. You know, you're never actually going to get there. Tottenham at least have danced, and they've lost.
Brother. You ain't been with the big time.
what do you mean? We literally danced with our trophy. Did you see
That's
Moyes
true.
dancing with his medal on, doing like the
That's true.
proclaimers? Moyes has the dance moves, mate. He has the dance.
That's fair. That's fair. Shout out to Dan Potts. There you go. 12 football's 12-man podcast. Shout. Even I said this. Winning silverware is better than participation. I mean, fuck. How winning silverware is everything in football. Okay, the levels of silverware we can have an argument or a discussion about, but winning silverware is still winning silverware. This is why I've made videos with my opinions and thoughts on other rival fans bantering, saying, "Oh, Klopp's only going to leave his last season with only the Carabao Cup." It's still a fucking trophy, won more than what your team has won. It's still silverware. It wasn't meant to be. It just was not meant to be. It is what it is. Tottenham won the Carabao last year. Fair fucking plays to them. They won a trophy. Well done. Kick on. They didn't really kick on. Got a game on the weekend. That's going to be interesting. Fucking simple. It's about 6-7 hours away. Damn, if I'm recording this video. But there you have it. Spurs fans. Deji, I should say. Wanting to be in the Champions League instead of winning any other trophy out there. That's a bit wild for me. But anyways, once again, appreciate if you watch these. Comments and thoughts down below. Shout out to Dan Pod. Shout out to Deji, of course. And also to Lawless. I'm out.